Hello everyone, Nick here with the Sage Scrolls, and today we're looking at some more RPG horror stories. We'll be taking a look at a DM who isn't going to be DMing, a friend who is proud of how he ruins campaigns for the DM, and a DM that spoils something for a friend. We'll leave that one for the end, you gotta watch to find that out. So without any further ado, let's get into it. This post is entitled, DM tells us he won't be DMing right at the beginning of his first session. It's posted by user VVIX0. I'm a member of Discord server that allows users to advertise their campaigns. One day, someone posted an invite to their game. It had no info about the campaign, only DM's name and time, which is really unprofessional, but whatever. I PM him and try to ask some questions. But I get only, I'm gonna tell you when campaign starts, which is a major red flag. One could say, but it's not like I'm doing anything else, so I went along. 2 days pass. Me, 4 other people, and the DM gather on a specially created server. DM finally arrives 10 minutes late, spends another 10 minutes trying to set up DiceBot. Finally, everyone is ready to play. Bot up and running, character sheet ready, and then the DM says, So, who wants to be the Dungeon Master? We, of course, instantly remind him that he's the one DMing, as he advertised in the announcement, which he replied by saying, I only said that in an announcement because no one would join my game if I didn't have a DM. And then everyone left. So, yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. If you're gonna DM. If you're not, be a player, don't false advertise. Especially because, even if you wanted someone else to be the DM, they need time to prepare for a session. Especially the first session. You can kind of fly by the seat of your pants in later ones when you have somewhere to start from the previous session and you know where you want to be because you're going through your module, your homebrew, whatever it is. But the first one, you gotta have a hook, you gotta know who the other players are, you gotta have prep time, man. Alright, now we have Friend is proud of ruining campaign, doesn't understand why I don't play with him anymore. Posted by user Shove Melons Up My Bum. Let's rewind time to early 2019. I had a homebrew I'd been working on for about a year at this point. Magic illegal, but not low magic, dark fantasy setting. Listed the concept to the players, and they said it sounded great. Did a proper session 0 and everything. Now, it's worth noting I run more serious games. I don't ban joking or anything like that at my table, but I like things to get heavy into RP to set up personal arcs for the characters that have meaning down the road. All I ask for in order to try and help set this up is that the players 1. Buy into the theme. 2. Don't troll and turn everything into a ween joke. And 3. Tell me if they're really not interested in the campaign so I don't spend countless sessions tossing hooks at them just to be ignored. Generally speaking, my groups agree to these caveats and everyone has a blast. I have successfully run about half a dozen campaigns into level 15 and higher. Anyway, session 1 of this session rolls around. One of the characters is a bard who uses ventriloquism with a sock puppet for his performance and casting. One is a barbarian who declares he's a part of the Guild of Idiots. Fast forward over the next couple of sessions, and I am at a loss. Everything is turned into some kind of joke, about 60% of which are scatological in nature, and the other 40% are belligerently NSFW. Every hook I either place gently in front of them or chuck straight at their head is ignored. Long story short, I just stopped rescheduling for them. They kept asking to play, so I took a published campaign I'd run before and let them run amok all over someone else's work rather than my own homebrew. I knew the campaign like the back of my hand, so I could drink and just laugh at their shenanigans. That eventually broke up, too, for a story I might post here later, but it was good for a while. This is where things get weird though. Whenever I'm talking in a group about campaigns and stuff I've run, my friend starts bragging about them derailing that campaign. Stuff he's said includes, oh yeah, one time we ruined a campaign in like 3 sessions that Shove Melons Up My Bum had been working on for like a year. It was hilarious. Yeah, I love trolling the DM and ruining their plans. Remember when we did that to your homebrew? These are quotes. I've started calling him out on it. After a particularly harsh call-out by someone other than myself, he's stopped. But whenever we're just hanging out, this friend always asks, "Why don't you run D&D anymore?" Not knowing that I'm 6 months deep into the exact homebrew he's been so happy about derailing. The lack of awareness astounds me. Needless to say, this individual has a lifetime ban from my table. I will literally never DM for them ever again. You know, this one's kind of straightforward too. If I had to give DM advice, I would say ask the players, make sure they know it's a serious campaign, but you've already said you do so. This one's really more the player's fault, nothing you. And you even adapted well, doing a more carefree campaign where you don't have so much heart and soul put into it, that they could run amok, as you said. So, I guess just good for you, good sharing. There's not much advice I can give. This player just doesn't know what to do. I guess the one thing you could do is have a sit-down serious talk with him and say how it isn't fun when you put your heart and soul out there for them to just ruin. I personally run and play more carefree games. It's not as serious, but if I do play in a more serious campaign, which I'm doing at the moment, yes, I try to be more serious. It's important for the player to follow the DM's guide. So, you did the best you could. Well done to you. This next one is called "I Just Ran a Game of D&D That Ruined My Proposal," posted by user/Ormkirk. My bad. This just happened yesterday. All members of my weekly D&D group are in self-isolation, so we decided to play over Skype. I hooked up laptop to my TV, and we got everyone online. Everyone was looking forward to a break from the boredom of being indoors 24/7. My girlfriend settles down on the sofa next to me, grabs her paladin sheet, and, as usual, I ask one of the players to do a recap of the last session. Now, it's been a while since we had a full group because of all the madness currently going on, so the player who has volunteered stalls over where the party is in the world. I say, "Hang on, I'll upload the map to the group chat and pull up my Google Drive." And for goodness sake, if I didn't forget that Google Drive shows a preview of your 5 last opened items. There's my campaign notes, the Cattlepunk mini RPG I'm working on, a sketch I just finished, and broadcast across the massive TV my girlfriend is staring at, a high-res close-up of the engagement ring I plan to give her. Needless to say, play was paused whilst I panically shut down my drive far too late, turning round to see her with her face in her hands. At least she says it was a happy surprise, I guess. This one seems much more wholesome than the previous few. It's a good thing, though, that you've been together. It seems, from what you've said, that it was coming soon. I mean, she had to have expected something sometime. Usually, you don't just out and propose without a little talk about, our relationship's heading somewhere, or one thing or another. It's a little upsetting, though, that she now knows something is coming. I'm sure you've had to talk about it, and I'm gonna surprise you anyways. Well, we'll see. I'm sure she'll say yes. That sounds much more wholesome. I like this one. Well, guys, that does it. That wraps it up. This was episode 2 of some RPG horror stories. Some more wholesome than others. If you like what I do, be sure to subscribe or comment or let me know what you're thinking. I'm new to this. But, that being said, I'm Nick from the Sage Scrolls, and I'll see y'all in the next video.